Hi friends, welcome back to my channel Testing Debates. I'm your friend Amudal Shaktivel, and in this video, I'm gonna talk about how easy it is to adapt Docker into our test automation framework. Right? We have seen about what is Dockerization and what is virtualization in the previous video. If you haven't watched that, please do watch that. And if you also watched what are the issues that we face if we don't use Docker in our test automation, or why we need to go for Docker in test automation, please watch the previous videos. I will leave the link in the below description. Good. Now we will see how easy is the setup, okay, and how to execute our test in Docker, and what are the changes that we need to do in our framework to execute the test in Docker. Okay, and also we will see how easy to clean up the infra. Okay, so if you don't understand this, that's okay, but just understand I have not, in this video I will not speak about how to download Docker for your for your machines, how Docker works, how to spin up a container, what are the intricacies of using a container and other stuff. Because I have trained so many people, but whenever I speak about all these things, they may lose interest. That's the reason. What want to show you guys is how easy is the setup, and I just want to show you, Docker is very very easy. Even if you don't understand how that internally works, that's okay. Okay, you can learn it after after a few months or later. Okay, it's not going to be a mandatory thing to know. Okay, for now. Okay, so without wasting much time, let's get into the Eclipse workspace, and um, we'll see about it. Okay, so if you notice, I have created a very simple test. Okay, this is WebDriver Manager. I'm trying to invoke a Chrome browser, and I'm just trying to hit a Google URL, and I'm just trying to print the title and closing the browser. This is a very simple test. If I run this test, it will work, in my local, right? This everyone knows about it. Right? If you don't know what is WebDriver Manager, please watch the you know uh, videos that I have spoken about WebDriver Manager. I will also leave the link in the description. But for now, just understand this is how we normally use, you know, uh, use a sample Selenium code to run your test in your local physical infra, right? Good. Now, in this, I'm just going to make only few changes, and this gonna help us to run the test in Docker. Good. Now, everything remains same. The only thing that's going to change is instead of directly invoking a Chrome driver instance, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a remote WebDriver instance. Okay, so again, remote WebDriver is again a class in Selenium, which extends your WebDriver interface. Okay, it's almost same like your Chrome driver. Okay, Chrome driver also is a class which extends your WebDriver interface. Okay, so here I'm going to extend remote WebDriver, and this remote WebDriver will accept certain things. Okay, so you need to pass the URL, the remote URL and the capabilities. Okay, so if you don't know what is this, that's okay. We'll gonna see it. So new URL. So this time I'm gonna pass a new URL here, and the URL is I'm gonna run it in my local host. Okay, so don't worry about what this for now, because we will see that in depth in the coming videos. But I just want to give a highlights how easy it is. Okay, so I need to pass the capabilities. Okay, so what I can do, I can create a decide capabilities object. Okay, where we're gonna tell what we are expecting. Okay, so capabilities dot set capability or set browser name. Okay, you can directly set a browser name. Maybe I'll use the enum that is already available. Okay, browser type dot Chrome. Suppose I want to run it on Chrome. Whatever the test that I have ran it in my local. Okay, this time I want to run in this particular thing. Okay, again this will delegate the request to the Docker. I will speak about it, in detail in the upcoming videos. Just to understand how easy it is. Okay, this is the only change that I need to do. Okay, and instead of this, I just need to pass cap. Okay, so I just added one extra line. Okay, apart from that, I didn't do anything. For now, I am throwing the exception. I think it is still showing some error because there is problem with my IDE. What I can do, I can just close this and open it again. Okay, now all the errors are gone. This is the only change we did. Okay, so this is the only change we did. Let's try to do the setup. Okay, to do the setup, I have created a Docker Compose YAML file. Okay, this is a file, okay, which gonna help us to to create containers and other stuff. But I will go in depth about what all these things. If you know about Selenium Grid, we are actually gonna set up that Selenium Grid inside the Docker. Inside the Docker. That's what we're gonna do. So even if you don't understand, that's okay. What you just need to do, okay, go to this project location. Okay, go to this project location. Okay, and just open the command prompt there. Okay, so I'll open the command prompt there. So okay, I open the command prompt there. Again, if you find the fonts little, okay, go to the font and increase the font. Good. Now, in this folder, so you need to go to the place where the Docker Compose YAML file is there. Okay, and then just type, Docker and Compose up. That's it. We do this. Okay. In my case, I have installed Docker and I also have downloaded the image, so it may take very less time for me. So within few seconds, your infra will be up and running. Okay. You have set up the Selenium grid inside the Docker environment. Good. Now everything is set. That's it. Now, if you go to your browser and then, uh, you know, go to this local host 4444 and just reload the page. Now, if you notice, there is a Selenium grid hub that is up and running. Just click on this console. If you notice, there is a Chrome which can do the work for me. There is also a Firefox which can do the work for me. Okay, if you imagine, if you really understand, my physical machine is having a Chrome version of 86, but what of the test I'm going to run now will be run on 79 version of the Chrome. Okay, let's see. Let me go to this particular workspace again. Now everything is set. Now the test will run in the Docker environment, and most importantly, we will not see anything about the how the test executes, but at the end we will get the same results that we got before. Okay, that's the only change. Okay, so everything will happen at the back end. Okay, later we can see how we can see the execution happening inside the container and other stuff. But for now, just understand, this time there is no browser invoked in my particular machine, but everything is ran at the background. Okay, still the test got passed, the title is print, everything works fine. Now let's take this whatever the learning that we have got here, okay, to our framework. Okay, because we need to implement this in our framework, right? We will do the implementation. Okay, let's go to the driver class where we are actually doing all the stuff. Okay, there is so much of Java docs, just minimize them. Okay, and here if you notice, this is where we are invoking the browsers. Okay, if it is local, yes, you need to use this particular code. But if it is remote, okay, if you want to execute in Docker, then I want to do something. Okay, I want to add a different code, because we understood there is a small code change if you want to execute in Docker. So this is a small code change, right? You need to create an instance of remote WebDriver, and then you need to pass the URL. Okay, so and then the decide capabilities where you want to. Suppose if you want to execute in Firefox, you just need to change it to Firefox. Okay, apart from that, everything almost same. You don't have to touch any of the page layers or any of your test cases. Only thing is you just need to touch this particular thing. Okay, now consider I create a new variable. Okay, suppose consider, I have new string, uh, run, run mode. Okay, if this is remote or Docker. Okay, if it is remote or Docker, then I want to, so for example, I'll keep it as remote for now. So if this is remote, then I want to run it there. Okay, then after Chrome, just I will add one more thing. If run mode dot equals ignore case. Okay, remote. Okay, then instead of this, okay, I want to do this. Okay, just copy this. Okay, paste it here. Again, I don't need this at all. Okay, whatever the thing that's I'm generating, this is a anonymous object, right, that we have created. The same thing. Okay, I will assign it back to this set driver. So again, guys, if you haven't watched my videos, previous videos, maybe this you will not understand this. So please watch all the videos so that you can understand what is this all about. Good. In the now we have understand a lot about the exception handling and other stuff. So I'll just do a try catch. Okay, here instead of throwing the exception back to the caller method. Okay, good, good. Now everything is set. So if it is remote, the whole test will be run on remote. The same thing we need to do it here, all right? So I'll copy paste this. Okay, copy paste this whole thing. Okay, if it is this, you'll execute it here. Otherwise, else execute the this particular thing. Okay, control. And the same way, if is else, I need to execute this. Again, guys, we will optimize this later, but for now, just understand this is the only change that you have to do. Again, if you notice this string run mode, is coming from, we have hard coded it here. Again, in our case, we will not hard code, right? Whatever the values that we want to change at runtime, we normally prefer keeping it in the property files or framework constants. In this case, since this control, we want to give it to manual testers, whether they want to run it in local or they want to run it in Docker. So in that case, what we can actually do, okay, we can create it in a property file. Okay, src test resources, there is a config, and there is a config.properties. Here I can just add a new thing. So give proper command, run mode, possible options are local or remote. Okay, good. Preferably everything in small letters. Okay, so here I can just tell run mode equal to remote. Okay, if I say remote here, it should run on Docker. If I say local here, it should run on my physical infra. Good. Now here, instead of this, okay, whatever the value that we want to read from here, okay, we always use property utils. And so this is an example, right? We fetching the value from our property file. Okay, for that we need to create a enum. Again, guys, if you're just watching this particular video, haven't watched what is enum and other stuff, please do watch the entire playlist so that you can understand and correlate what I'm speaking here. Good. Okay, so here I go to this enum and there is a config properties. I'll create a new variable. This is because we don't want to make any spelling mistake. So run mode. Okay, create the same value, and once this is done, you can come here and then set up this thing. If run mode, you can directly fetch if property utils dot, okay, get the config properties, is config properties dot run mode. Okay, good. This will give me the value. Again, you you can use a local variable here, or you can directly pass it here. Okay, so I don't want to create a local variable, so I'll cut this and I'll paste it here. Okay, or if you're okay with creating a local variable, it doesn't cost you much, so you can also create a local variable. Good. So this way you can run your test on local or remote with very few things. Again, guys, the code looks very very clumsy. We will optimize this later, but for now just understand whatever we are going to do now. In our test data sheet, okay, we have to run Amazon test, right? So we have Amazon test. What I'm going to do, I have to execute it on Chrome as well as Firefox. Okay. So, but for now, I'll just run it in just on Chrome. Okay. Just let's see how this works. Good. And for now, maybe I'll keep this to local just to check how the execution works in local. Okay. Just right click the testng.xml, run as testng suite. Now there is one test, Amazon test, that will be executed in the local. Okay, we will see how the report is, and then we will then execute it on Docker. Again, guys, if you feel the video a little slow, please change the playback settings to 1.5 or 2. See, now the test is running. Okay, it opened Chrome, it opened doing some operations in the Amazon website, and at the end, it will also produce me the results. Good. So this is how it is. The whole test got passed. It has some 3 logs. Okay, we have a dashboard. Everything is good. Okay, we have authors board. We have categories board. Everything looks good. So the same result we're gonna get it if we run it on remote. The only change that I need to do is I just need to go and change this to remote. Okay, because that's what we have done here. Okay, if run mode is equal to remote, then this whole thing will execute. Let's see whether it is working fine or not. Okay, run as testng suite. Again, guys, if you're new to this channel, please check out the previous videos so that you can understand and correlate what I'm speaking here. Okay, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. Okay, so that you can get all the videos that I'm uploading. Suppose if you notice, I could not see any browsers opening, but I think this test is still running. Let's see. Let's wait for the results to come. But for now, there is no browsers invoked in my local. Okay, I hope it should work without any issues. Let's see. So it'll in the meantime it'll create the container, it'll execute the test in the container and other stuff. So at the end it should produce us the results. Just wait for a few more seconds. I should have written some logs, but since we are not, using any log4j and stuff, so it's not printing that in the console. Okay, so we may have to wait for few seconds. So we will at the end we will see how we can see the execution video. We will use some customized Selenium Docker grid from Selenoid and other stuff. We have the recordings of the videos. We will upload that to AWS S3. There are a lot of good videos that I have planned. So hopefully they all will come to you soon. So please keep watching and supporting the testing mini channel. Again, there seems to be some issue. I don't know. I shouldn't have taken this much time because let's see whether it is occupied. Okay, I think the test is running. If you notice, the Chrome test is still running. Okay, should have completed. Okay, but it is now occupied. Okay, this is the config of this particular Chrome. Okay, good. I think it should have completed by now. Okay, I think the previous test didn't close. Okay, okay, okay. Let's close this. Maybe I didn't quit the previous test. Okay, I got the issue now. Let me stop this particular test. Okay, and then go back. Okay, this went to listening mode. What I can do, I can still go to the practice project. I'll set up the infra again, guys. Okay, I'll quit the whole thing. Suppose to I want to tear down all the infra that I have done. You just type docker hyphen compose down. Go to the same project where the docker compose file is there, and then do this. Okay, this is because the last time when I executed the test, I didn't call the quit method. Okay, so this is still waiting. So this is the test that we ran before. I should have called quit because quit will only result in closing the container properly. Okay, that's a problem with my side. That's okay. We'll fix that. Okay, it's taking few seconds. Again, guys, when I type this command docker hyphen compose down, the whole thing, if you notice, it is stop the container. It also remove the container. Good. Now, if you notice, if I go and reload this particular page, nothing will be there. Okay. So it will not have anything. Okay. Now let me do the setup again. To do the setup again, docker hyphen compose up. Okay. So once this is done, okay, it'll be up and running in few seconds. Okay, for you to run your test. Okay, you can wait for the logs and it will clearly tell you it is ready to use. Okay, once this is telling this, then you can delegate your test. Okay, let me go to this particular workspace and let me try to run the testng.xml. And this time, okay, I'll also make sure that I have driver.quit. Okay, I have quit here, so it should free up the browser after execution. So let me run the test. Let's hope this time it should not take much time. And once you, yeah, this time the console is up and running. This will be occupied. This Chrome browser will be occupied. Okay, good, good. Now this test is running in this particular Chrome. That's why it is, uh, in a fader away, right? Good. I should have written some logs so that we can see the logs, but that's okay. I think the test is now completed. This is almost same. The report, if you notice, the report is same like the report that we ran it in physical machine, our own physical machine, right? Everything looks same. Okay, there is no difference. So this is the advantage, right? The same thing we can run it in parallel as well. Okay, we can run the whole setup in parallel as well. Okay, let me go to this particular workspace and let me open the Excel sheet. I want to run the same Amazon test in parallel now. Okay, so just one change. Okay, just change this to yes. Okay, I have one Amazon test that has two iteration. One will execute on Chrome and another will be on Firefox. Okay, maybe if you want to check whether how this is working in local, you can change the property file value to, okay, this one to local, so that you can check how this is running in your local. So we have already done all the parallel setup, so there is no issue with the parallel running. So I am just trying to run it in the remote itself for time being. Okay, so this time it should execute on both Chrome and Firefox at the same time. Okay, and the result should be right, same. So this is how easy it is, right? So we just wrote some like 2 lines of code, and without even using our physical infra, the whole things are happening at the back end, right? So this is the pretty good advantage about using Docker. Okay, we are not creating any virtual machines. The setup is not taking much time. Maybe it's like 20 seconds. Okay, and even the closer is also 20 seconds. If you notice, it has executed on Chrome, one has executed on Firefox. The results are almost same. Okay, good. Everything is working fine, guys. So this is the advantage of using Docker. Now, since we have learned about virtualization and stuff in the previous video, if you notice, this is our physical laptop. Okay, this is my physical laptop. Okay, and the operating system is Windows. This is what I have, and the container engine on top of it is Docker. I have installed Docker. We will see about how to install Docker in the next video. That's okay. But imagine whatever the things that we have created on top. I told it will be like another laptop, right? But these are all called as containers. In terms of technical words, these are all containers. So I have 3 containers now. One is Selenium Hub, one is Chrome, and one is Firefox. This is what you are seeing here. One is Chrome, one is Firefox. Now I want to shut down this whole thing. I don't want this infra anymore because I am done with running all my tests. Then just go back to the place. Since this went to a listening mode, I'll again go back and create a, I'll go to this particular location, and then again I'll type docker hyphen compose down. That's it. With just one single command for spinning up your whole instances, and another command for spinning down all your instances is very easy now. So now everything is done. Okay, whole setup is now depleted. Notice this will go. So you are done running with your test. So this is how easy it is, right? So we will see about how this whole thing works, okay, in detail. Okay, we'll install Docker desktop, and then we'll understand how the whole thing works in the next videos. So please stay tuned and keep supporting the Testing Mini Bytes channel, guys. Thanks a lot again for your support. I'll see you all in another great video. Thanks again. Bye bye.